Hi everyone. I would jump online and do a video on Sol and the possibility of breaking all-time highs and where it might go, because a lot of people are sort of questioning if this thing's ever going to move, or will it be at $200 when Bitcoin hits 130, that sort of thing. So what I've drawn up here, I will just explain it, and then after that, maybe what I'll do is I'll actually clear it all, and I'll run you through how it all works. But what we have from the 2021 high here is we had a standard 4-candle range. So we have a support trend which comes through here, and as you can see, as we went into the bear market, it just got completely obliterated. Next one got created in these 4 candles here. And later you'll see that once that was closed over, it created the big push up, which eventually led to testing the break level over here. So these are just ranges. This is how ranges form, and this is a particular type of trend line, one that doesn't move, it doesn't adjust, it just stays where it is, and it represents the extremes of the range effectively. So up here we had our monthly break level from 2021. We had this range that's coming through here that's never had a retest. That gets kind of special when you think about it, because there's people out there saying $2,000 Sol, there's people out there saying $1,000 Sol. Well, $600 Sol, might hit that line. These trend lines do tend to get retested. So when this candle here closed yellow into that dormant hold candle from 2021, it created this range trend through here. So this range trend represents the top of that range, okay? And this represents the bottom of that range to be retested at a future date. So, could be over here. Now, we've tried to get through here a few times, but the thing is, you actually can't break a range if the candle is on the trend. You can't break a trend if the candle is on the trend. So this one opened underneath, this one got forced back underneath, it opened underneath, it got forced back underneath. We've never really had the opportunity to break out of the all-time high, even though these went up above it, they just didn't have the option really to actually go higher, and that's why it always just dumped back down. But you'll also notice that we've never gone back below this range that runs through here. That was pretty close, in there, I think. I think it may have even touched that if you look at it on the lower time frame, but just for the sake of argument's sake, did we touch it? Did we not? No, it doesn't look. Oh, wait, wrong area. Wrong area. Did we touch it? It's all the way down here somewhere. Wow. Where was it? Yeah. Probably shouldn't have used a 15-minute candle for that, right? No, not quite. Right, didn't quite get there. Okay, but we are talking monthlies, some pretty high time frame stuff. It's not necessarily going to be the most accurate to the cent. So what we have now is the opportunity to actually open a candle on the correct side here. And if we can then get 1 month in accumulation, so a hard close of that range, we can then actually look to break through these levels here and break through these levels here. So very similar to what you see down here. We had this range that came through here. We get the hard close, so now we can break. And then we run into this level here, which is a break level. So I didn't label that, but that was the break level on the monthly. And then once we hard closed it, actually this candle, once we hard closed, we were able to sweep some liquidity and then go up. So a lot of this kind of ties in with the expectations that we might have a flush and then a pump. If we close over the top of this, we could have a flush, maybe down to the hold level here, take out the liquidity below the trend, go back up, close the candle, and then off we go. It's moon time from there. And the answer is, it sounds pretty much like hopium, but you would really be looking to take a TP when it hits the backside of that thing. So if we just get rid of all that and we go back to the good old days of the bear market. So we have this range. That's our first trend in there. Okay, our break of range is there. So if price revisits this, we short it. That's basically how we head off into the bear. Let's see. Speed that up a bit. And there we go. We touch it, we dump. That's pretty much what should happen. Okay, now we create another range through here. So now we've got this. Okay, there's a hold level in here. There's a hold level in here. These areas will reject in the future, and they can create range trends of their own in the future. But for now, we've got pretty much these two important things, and we're in a downtrend, which we can put on there, I suppose, if we want to. It was there, it moved to there. Okay, so because that's completely free of body, it doesn't matter if the wick's touching, but it's completely free of body, so that moves to there. So we keep going. Now, until we break that trend and hit the break levels, we can't. So we've broken the trend here. Unless we come back to this hold level or this break level, we can't reverse. And it's probably not going to happen because it's more likely we'll just reject. Even if we try to go up, we'll probably just reject off the bottom of this range trend. So and there's a bit of an engulfment in there, so that candle closes lower than that, so that's going to try and push the price back down. So, yep. I think that's probably about your FTX days or something. It's kicked in there, but got a bit of an engulfment to the upside there. Right, so that's kind of like your first sign that price is trying to move back up. Meanwhile, this trend has moved to here, into here, into there. So this is the first time the trend has moved to a situation where you've got this support level below it. So definitely things are starting to turn. You also have to count out how many stages you've been through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is about the point where you would expect price to bottom and to have a decent rally in the other direction, but it'll probably need to accumulate first. So that'll go down. So one of these candles is going to go down and touch this, and then that'll create movement up. So slight upwards engulfment. There you go, touch to the hold level. There you go, there's your move up. Okay, so this has created another range trend, which is there. And notice that this is now facing up. So we've got this support in here. We've got that support in there. We've got this trend to break. So we've got to get over this trend. If we want to go up, we've got to get over that. And well, if we want to go up to, $1,000, probably have to get over that one in the future. This has moved out to here. It's moved out to there. This candle's on it, so it can't break it, but it's got the support of that engulfment in there. So that's good. All signs that this thing is going to start going up. Okay, that breaks it. So this breaks the trend. It moves to there. That's free and clear. It's really just a matter of time now for this thing to take off. The wick on this candle here went up and hit that hold level. So that's no longer resistance. That hold level was hit by this candle, so that's no longer resistance. So all you really got to do is break over these break levels. You're away, and really subtly, that's all the way down here. That's a break level there, and then that's a break level there. And once it starts closing over these, it's just going to start to cascade, and that's a low time frame break origin level because the wick of that candle is higher than the wick of that candle in that range. So yeah, anything over these numbers and that thing just can start to fly. Let's go over your range trend and okay, retest the range trend. And we get that's into the backside of that, which had already been tested here, so that's not resistance. But that was resistance, so that was that hold level that we said would reject later, so there's your rejection. And there'll be another one when you get to that hold level there. So that's going to also be resistance. And then you got your break level up there. Okay, so we just keep going. There's your resistance. There's your dump back to support. Okay, and range. We need to hard close. So we need to hard close back up inside here. Okay, so let's see. At the same time, we've created that range trend off that dormant hold level, which got hit by this candle, and we've created this range trend. So as you can see, it's holding this range trend, and once it hard closes that range trend, it's going to try and break these upper levels. And so we've already hard closed the range trend, we've hard closed the break levels, and so off we go. Now we're all the way up here. The problem is that we've got to hard close this break level and we've got to hard close this range trend. So we're getting closer and closer to where we are today, and as far as what's required now if we want to move up. So none of those candles. As you can see, none of these candles have managed to hard close the range trends or the break levels. Okay, so that's why you haven't been able to go to $500 or $600 or $400 or 310. You need to get out of the range. And as you can see by this, we were really lucky we didn't hard close candles down under there, or that was that would have been a bit of a problem. And if you're watching these in real time, you can see how it respects them and rejects off these, and a lot you learn by how candles move. Okay, so we've created another range trend, which is in there. That's our current range support trend. This one's a bit tricky. This could be one. Okay. This didn't quite touch that, but it is so close given the time frame that we're dealing with. So this could actually be one. And here we are. Okay. So as far as Sol breaking through all-time highs, and will it suddenly just happen and maybe catch everybody by surprise? Well, it really could, because if this here is actually a range trend, which it might be, it could just be a very slight maths rounding issue. Well, that breaks it, and it opens on the correct side of that very, 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 very old one to allow the price to move higher. And then all you really need is 1 month of accumulation, and that entire range is gone, and this thing can move up into price discovery. And you have got break levels in here, which you need to get over, and you've got to get over this. But it's almost a certainty that that'll happen, because the thing about range trends is they're like a horizontal level, but because they are a trend, the price is different over time. So breaking this horizontal, or breaking this diagonal level down here is the equivalent of actually breaking this level up here. So it's not like normal trends. They're effectively diagonals that behave like horizontals. And we're the hopium and the true all-time high alt season, if we get at target for Sol comes in, is probably if it hits the backside of that thing, because that's never had a retest, and if it hits it, it will reject. And as it currently stands, like these rejections you saw in here, where the trend itself was at 208 or something, and the support was down here at 126, right? So it's quite a small change. The support for this is all the way down here, so you're talking supports at $250. Potentially, this thing gets hit at 600. So that sounds pretty reasonable for a bear market. You hit $600 and then drop all the way back to 200. So very possible. But anyway, I thought you might like that and learn something from it as far as how range trends work and how break levels work and what you need. But also at the same time, to say that it is actually very possible that just out of nowhere you could see Sol just bust out and disappear off into the sky. So, and yeah, it might be, it might happen. It might catch everyone by surprise, and if it does happen, you heard it here first. All right, cheers.